It's never a dull day for MrBeast, is it? He is always in the limelight, whether it be positive or negative, you know, at any given moment. And the most recent controversy is by far the craziest one. Yeah, obviously, we've seen a lot of stuff get lodged against MrBeast, especially over the last year. Some of it absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, some of it completely warranted. But this one is no different. So this beef is between the Mexican government, and MrBeast himself, right? And the Mexican authorities, and it stems from a video titled "I Explored a 2,000-Year-Old Ancient Temple," posted on May 10th of 2025. It's his most recent video, and it follows this theme of exploring restricted areas that general members of the public are not allowed to go to. So obviously he had his Pyramids of Giza video where he had unrestricted access to the Pyramids of Giza for 100 hours, and the most recent one that he's done is in the Mayan temples in Mexico. So obviously, you know, these places are huge historical sites, but there were a bunch of alleged violations going on. So there were permit violations allegedly. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Mexico's National Institute for Anthropology and History, otherwise known as the INAH, granted filming permits for Full Circle Media, the production company working with MrBeast, but these did not allow for commercial use or monetization. The video included a promotion for MrBeast's feasible chocolate brand with a claim it was only Mayan approved snack, which authorities said violated the terms of using sacred sites for advertising. So that was the first kind of issue that MrBeast ran into. The second one was restricted access. So MrBeast accessed areas of the sites typically off limits to the public, prompting criticism from locals and officials. In the video, he says, quote, "I can't believe the government's letting us do this," which has fueled perception of special treatment. And Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, I've actually butchered that, I'm sorry, called for an investigation into how the permits were actually granted. So, you know, he's stating, one of the top comments on the video now is, "I can't believe the government's letting me do this," and people have responded, "Yeah, neither can the government, dude." So it's very interesting. Another thing is misinformation and fabrication. So the INAH has clarified that some scenes, like the drone shot inside El Castillo at Chichen Itza, and MrBeast holding a pre-Hispanic mask were digitally altered or fabricated. And these were seen as spreading, quote, false information about the sites. Now, that's unsurprising, obviously, because it's a YouTube video at the end of the day. A lot of what MrBeast does in his videos, you can see it playing now, you know, include a lot of post-editing to try and keep the attention. It's what MrBeast is incredibly well known for, especially in scenes like this, where he uses digital editing to try and make the video look a bit more clean, a little bit more fluent. So, you know, it's a very interesting take that the Mexican government's taken on this sense, and the INAH have also taken in this regard. And on May 15th of 2025, the INAH filed a lawsuit against Full Circle Media, seeking compensation for damages and a public retraction citing misuse of Mexico's cultural heritage. Now, obviously, this is where it starts to get really messy, and we're going to break down the legal side of things as well, because, you know, that's obviously what the most intriguing part of this is, as it's just one of many lawsuits that MrBeast is currently facing. So, MrBeast did actually respond to all of these claims from the INAH, stating, on May 18th of 2025, he denied that he or his team were being sued directly, and emphasizing respect for Mexican and Mayan culture. He claimed that the video aimed to highlight Mexico's history, similar to his Egypt Pyramids video, and that no advertising material was filmed near the national monument. He also noted that his team's transparency with officials about promoting festivals, and mentioned unspecified philanthropical philanthropical, there we go, efforts in Mexico. Jesus Christ. And the governor of the Campeche, Leda Censores, defended MrBeast, stating that all permits were properly obtained, and that the INAH and local tourism officials were present during filming. She argued that the video promoted Mexico's cultural heritage. However, Mexico's Secretary of Culture, Claudia Curiel de Icaza, condemned the commercial use of the distorted portrayals. Some Mexican residents, like tour guide Jose Elias Aguayo, expressed frustration over unequal access to sacred sites. I'm butchering all of these names, I do apologise, but you get the idea. Now, the legal fallout for all of the parties involved is pretty insurmountable, okay? So you've got Full Circle Media, who are the production company that worked alongside MrBeast. You've got MrBeast himself, otherwise known as Jimmy Donaldson, and his company. You've got the INAH, and you've also got the Mexican government, who are all basically, you know, in the midst of this legal fallout. So let's break it all down and talk about each kind of party individually. So we'll start with the Full Circle Media, who are the production company that supported MrBeast. Now, the legal action. The INAH filed an administrative lawsuit against Full Circle Media on May 15th of 2025, alleging that the company violated the terms of filming permit by using images of protected archaeological sites and for commercial purposes, specifically promoting MrBeast's Feasible chocolate brand. The permit explicitly prohibited monetization or advertising use. The INAH also accused the company of spreading false information through digitally altered scenes, such as a drone shot inside the El Castillo and fabricated depiction of a helicopter landing. Now, the INAH is seeking compensation for damages, and the exact amount or nature of the damages, e.g. financial or cultural, is not specified in public reports as of right now, and a public retraction. So the INAH demands that Full Circle Media publicly clarify the misuse of the site and the fabricated elements of the video, and the potential consequences of this are under Mexico's federal law on archaeological, artistic, and historical monuments and zones. Violations of permits could lead to fines and other administrative penalties. The law restricts commercial exploitation of cultural heritage, which the INAH argues was actually breached. And then there's also reputational damage. So as the entity directly named in the lawsuit, Full Circle Media may face reputational harm, potentially affecting future collaborations with influencers or even governments, and the financial liability. So if damages are awarded, Full Circle Media could be responsible for paying fines and reparations, though no specific figures are available. So that's just for Full Circle Media, who are the production company. Let's talk about MrBeast or Jimmy Donaldson more directly. Obviously, Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast, right? So legal exposure. So MrBeast himself was not actually named in the lawsuit, which targets Full Circle Media. On May 18th of 2025, he stated on X, "We have never been sued by them," emphasizing that his team obtained the necessary permits and acted under INAH supervision. Now, the potential consequences for MrBeast himself are reputational risks. So the controversy has sparked public and official criticism in Mexico, with some viewing the video as exploitative. And this could affect MrBeast's brand image, particularly in markets sensitive to cultural heritage issues. There could be potential future permitting challenges, so the backlash may make it hard for MrBeast to secure permits for similar projects in Mexico or other countries with strict cultural heritage laws. And there's also contractual liability. Now, if Full Circle Media faces financial penalties, they could potentially seek to recover costs from MrBeast, depending on their contractual agreement. However, no evidence suggests that this is actually occurring. Now, MrBeast's team at this current time claims that the video was intended to promote Mexican culture, similar to the previous Egypt video, and denies filming promotional content at the sites. And they note collaboration with the Mexican Ministry of Tourism and local authorities supported by Campeche's governor. Now, obviously, MrBeast is claiming in that he's only done it for cultural purposes and to kind of, promote Mexico, which may be the case, but obviously the video is completely monetized, so there's a financial gain there, and he did promote Feastables whilst in there, so there was advertising going on. Now, whether that's going to be weaponized against MrBeast later on, we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's talk about the INAH, who are lodging all of these complaints against MrBeast and his teams, right? So the INAH, as the guardian of Mexico's archaeological heritage, initiated the lawsuits to enforce regulations under the federal law on archaeological, artistic, and historical monuments and zones. They argue that the nation's cultural heritage cannot be exploited for private profit, and that the video's commercial elements and fabricated scenes violate permit terms. Now, the potential outcomes of this are strengthening oversight, so the case could lead to the INAH to tighten permit processes, as President Claudia Sheinbaum has requested clarification on how the permits were actually granted. Precedent setting, so a successful lawsuit could set a legal precedent for how foreign media entities use Mexico's cultural sites, reinforcing INAH's authority. And public relations, so the INAH's actions signal a commitment to protecting cultural heritage, which may bolster its reputation among the Mexican people, but could deter international filmmakers due to perceived rigidity, right? And then you've got the Mexican government themselves. Yes, they are a part of this. So President Sheinbaum ordered an investigation into the permit in issuance process, questioning how MrBeast's team gained access to restricted areas. The Ministry of Culture, led by Claudia Curiel de Icaza, condemned the commercial use and misinformation, aligning with the INAH's stance. And the potential fallout for them is the investigation could expose procedural flaws in the Ministry of Tourism or INAH's permit processing, leading to internal reforms or political embarrassment. If permits were issued improperly, officials involved could face severe scrutiny. Now, that's obviously kind of where we're at with this entire situation thus far. No one seems to be safe from this. It seems like every entity involved, including the Mexican government, INAH, MrBeast, and the production company working with MrBeast, are all kind of in the midst of it, in this big mixing bowl, and it all determines whether, well, the fallout, it will obviously go to court, and then we'll have to find out what happens from there. So nobody is really safe. Again, unfortunately, it's another criticism and black mark chalked up against MrBeast's name. Whether it should be or not, I guess, is ultimately down to you. Personally, I don't see how MrBeast is fully liable. Like, if he can prove that he's got the permits and he got them lawfully and he got them fairly, then MrBeast was just doing what he was told he was allowed to do. Whereas if obviously it comes out that MrBeast didn't get this properly, obviously we know about the whole behind the scenes thing with MrBeast's team where it's like no doesn't mean no. If that was the case and they kind of strong-armed their way into it, then, you know, questions can be asked of MrBeast and, you know, the fairness and validity of those permits. But as of right now, innocent until proven guilty, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of the like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.